all the way at the end when we'll finish our meditation, we'll take this water into the toilet. We just put it down the toilet and flush, so we don't, this stuff that clears out of our system just goes out of the house, basically. So yeah, I don't know if there is anyone else. Rahul, will you tell me if there is anyone, or just please everyone unmute and let me know if you are here for the first time, because what we also do at the beginning, we do a simple exercise when we raise our Kundalini and then put ourselves into Bandhan. And, I'll either explain it if you're here for the first time, or we'll just do it all together. Okay, so make sure you let us know if you're here for the first time. So today's topic is the right side and the mental and physical strength through meditation. Now, later on, so first our meditation will be guided. First part will be when we'll be clearing the left and right and some catches according to how I feel for the whole group on my hands. And if you've been coming for a while, you know how this actually works. And then after that, we'll be listening to a short excerpt of Shimataji's talk. Actually, there's going to be 2 excerpts, and they're both about the right side and about the problems of the right side. So our right side is very much connected to our mental and physical, like to our mental part and then the physical body. And Rahul, if you can pull up the chakra chart, so I can explain a few things about the right side and everyone. Okay, so here we have the right side is the yellow side. It goes on the right side of us, and it starts on the 2nd chakra. That's why the 2nd chakra, we could say the most important chakra of the right side, because that's the beginning of the right side. And it goes all the way up to the 6th chakra, crosses over, and it ends in this balloon, in this dead end that we call ego. So ego is not connected to the 7th chakra, right? It's just after Vishuddhi, it kind of bloats up here, and it's like the dead end. The right side is also connected to our physical side and also to our mental part. Now, when we talk about the right side, and often people say, because the last product of, the end of the right side is ego, and ego is also the product of the activity of right side, right? People sometimes say, oh, I just would wish there was no ego or there was no right side in us. But this is not how it goes, right? The right side is really important for us. And even if we just look at right now, we are starting this meditation, this new way of life, we could say, of being aware of certain things about ourselves. But our chakras may not be yet in completely perfect state yet, need some clearing. We need to work out certain things, right? Also, basically learn a lot of things, like organize ourselves or devote some time to meditation, right? And to do this, we need the energy of the right side. If we just wish it and do nothing about it, nothing will happen, right? The right side is the side, the energy of the right side is the one that will bring us to actual action, that we do that we clear ourselves. The right side is also what helps Rahul and me and everyone else who comes here and does the programs to do it, right? We do it from this right side, and we do it also connected to the heart, to the love, to compassion, from this desire to share with others. And this is another trick of how to control the right side that has gone crazy, right? Like when we get too ambitious, too hardworking, always working, never having fun, like hot-tempered, all these problems that you'll hear later on that Shrimataji describes nicely about the right side. When, like too disciplined, unpleasant people, dry people like that, or people full of ego, full of ourselves, these kind of things, we can balance all that when we include heart into that. Because when we act too much, when we work too much, usually we push the activity of our heart to the side. We don't want to deal with that. And then the ego gets free rein, and it can really take us into something that we don't want to be. And then, like when we include heart into that, when we decide that let's be active, but let's be active for the benevolence of others, for our own benevolence, out of love, then this right side will automatically help, like come to the center. So we'll swing back from being lost on that right side. Otherwise, right side is not so difficult to clear as the left side. Right side is a much more linear, much more like it's a simpler thing. And all we need to do is accept the part that we're not on top of the world, and there is that greater power that's looking after us. And through meditation, we can experience this power, how our Kundalini looks after us. We can feel her. More we meditate, more we clear ourselves, better we feel this energy. And then also this awareness develops in us of how we can actually surrender ourselves and our growth to this power. So whoever joined later on, did we have someone Rahul, who is new before we start?
No, only Shreya is new, but I think she's already done 21 days. So
Yeah, so she knows about the Footsoak and how to raise Kundalini and do Bandhana. So any questions you'll have about the right side or anything else, we can also do that at the end, because I know some people we want to keep this meditation in about an hour now, from now to an hour later, that we wrap up. And we have, as I said before, a little bit longer excerpts of Mother's talk, so we'll listen to that later. I think we should start now. So let's sit comfortably, get the foot. I hope everyone has the Footsoaks ready already. We can, Rahul, are we going to get on with our slides? Yeah. So we'll now raise our Kundalini, and then we'll put ourselves into Bandhan. But let's do this together. Just sit comfortably, as straight as you possibly can, that you still feel comfortable, so no pain in your body. Now, let's take a deep breath in through the nose, and then breathe out through the mouth slowly. And again, breathe in and relax the muscles on your head, on your neck, the shoulders, the arms. And now let's together, slowly with attention, raise our Kundalini and put ourselves into Bandhan. So we first tie one knot, then the second time we'll tie 2 knots, and then the third time we'll do the 3 knots. And now we'll do the 7 bandhas, one for each chakra, starting on the left, at the left hip, to the right hip and back. 7 times. So let's open now our hands into on the lap. And to begin with, we'll do 7 circular moves with our right hand, giving vibrations to the water of Footsoak. So clockwise circles above the Footsoak water, allowing this energy that's already flowing through us to vibrate this water for Footsoak. And then we'll place our feet into the water. We will begin by balancing the left and the right. Let's take the right hand and place it towards the ground, towards the earth. And we'll simply ask, Mother Earth, please absorb the problems of my left side. While we're doing that, we can actually pay attention to the left hand, where it should slowly become lighter, more vibrations flowing. Mother Earth, please absorb all the heaviness from my left side, all the heaviness that comes from any kind of nostalgic ideas that I may have from my past, any kind of heavy emotions. Mother Earth, please remove all lethargic tendencies, all laziness in me. And Mother Earth, please remove all the fearful attitudes that come from my conditioning or from my past experiences. Now we'll change our hands. We'll bring the right hand up into the lap and the left hand up into the air, pointing up towards the sky, and the palm is facing backwards. And here we'll surrender the heat of the right side. It's the ether element that can suck in the heat of the right side, of the overactive right side. Just by placing hands like this, we're actually allowing this heat to pass into the sky. And we can ask here, Mother Kundalini, please remove the heat of my right side. Please remove all my futuristic tendencies, all worries about the future. And all sorts of ideas and thinking that's connected to the future and prevents me from being in the present. Mother Kundalini, please remove all obstacles that are in me that prevent me from allowing you to take care of me. All my controlling issues. All these attitudes of the right side that do not allow me to enjoy my life. And now we'll place both hands towards the ground. And we can bring our attention to the base of the spine, where the first chakra is. And again, we'll ask Mother Earth, please absorb all the problems of my first chakra. Make my first chakra, the Muladhara chakra, strong, so I can be in balance. Mother Earth, please absorb everything that's not innocent in me, all that prevents me from having these childlike attitude towards life. Now we'll bring our hands back on the lap and let's see which chakras need more attention. So we'll first bring our attention to Nabi chakra, that is the third chakra, and above the belly button. Here we'll place our hand, the stomach area, the abdomen. And we can ask our Kundalini, Mother Kundalini, please come into my third chakra or Nabi chakra. Please remove all the problems of this chakra. And establish the peaceful, the state that's peaceful. Establish the inner peace in me. And Mother, please establish the complete sense of satisfaction in me. That no matter what's going on in life, I feel this satisfaction from within. And Mother Kundalini, please establish also generosity in me. Make me generous. Let me feel and enjoy this generosity. Now we'll take our right hand further up to the heart chakra. And here we can breathe in very deeply into the upper part of the lungs, into the chest. Just breathe in deeply and hold the air for some time. And then breathe out. Then hold it for a little while. And then again breathe in. And just like this, breathing and pausing and breathing again. Let's do it for a while, very slowly, at your own tempo. Because the air element is the element of the heart chakra, and it clears our chakra. And we can also at the same time ask Mother Kundalini, please come into my heart. Please purify my heart, make it large, so it can control the right side. It can look after the right side. It can look after the ego in me. Mother Kundalini, please establish the power of pure love and compassion in me. Now let's put our hand also on the forehead. The right hand will allow our head to lean on the hand, rest on the hand. And here we'll simply say, I forgive, allowing all sorts of thoughts of anger or disappointment with others or ourselves to just leave us, leave this space of our head and mind. So a few times, let's just say, I forgive myself, and I forgive everyone else. I forgive. Now we'll take our hand, place it at the back of the head, and allow your head to rest on your hand. Just slightly lean backward, just the head. And here we'll ask our Kundalini for forgiveness and our spirit for forgiveness. Whatever we've ever may have done against our spiritual growth and ascent, knowingly or unknowingly, let's simply ask here, please forgive me, Mother, without feeling guilty or thinking what that could have been. Just simply say, Mother, please forgive me. Mother Kundalini, please forgive me. Now let's stretch the palm, press really hard on top of the head. Let's massage clockwise, very slowly, this top chakra, our Sahasrara. And here we can ask, Mother, please strengthen my self-realization. And please strengthen my connection to the all-pervading power. And we can also say, Mother Kundalini, thank you for guiding me, for looking after me, and for clearing me. Now we can see above the head, we can feel how the vibrations, how our Kundalini and the vibrations are feeling above the seventh chakra. And we can also do the same thing with the left hand. Let's try and find that spot above our head. See how you feel on top of the head, above the head. And then just bring your hands back on your lap. Keep your feet in the Footsoak. Your attention above the last chakra, above the head. And just for a few minutes, let's try and stay in meditation. If thoughts come, don't worry, but don't get involved with them. try to watch them. And now we'll give some time to our Kundalini to do her work. And we'll slowly open the eyes and let us rinse our feet and finish this first part where we do foot soak, clearing. And just place your foot soak to the side. And then we'll continue with the second part. We'll be listening to the excerpt of Shimataji's talk. She talks about the right side and all sorts of problems that we get from overusing or actually damaging our right side. So while we listen to her talk, keep your attention on top of the head, on your hands, and pay attention. And we can actually see slowly, maybe able to get into a sort of a meditative mood when we actually listen to Shimataji's talk. So after we'll continue with meditation.
Out of this. Now this action within us acts for our mental and physical capacities on the right hand side. Like we think of the future. Now we're planning, we start. It's planning. Now we must do this tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We have to do it and we start sitting. Now I'll go there and I'll find this and then I'll take a ticket and then I'll go there. I mean, our mind is working for the future. So much so we become absolutely futuristic. To such an extent sometimes I've met people who are futuristic, they even forget their own names. Can you believe it? I mean, they don't even remember their father's name, that's all right, but even their own names they forget. I mean, they are like mad because they don't remember their own names and they don't know where are they, what are they doing. I have met people of that kind who are really sick people because they have become so futuristic now that they do not know anything about their past. Now, this futuristic behavior starts in a society where people always think of the future. What will I do? What am I to do tomorrow? What am I to achieve tomorrow? And all these things when they start doing, their attention goes to the right extreme. Now in this place, we are very dangerously placed. Very dangerously placed when we start looking for the future. And the future seeing is a imaginary stuff. It's absolutely imaginary. Because what you think of the future doesn't exist. What exists is the present. You have to be in the present, not in the future. But people will say you have to be in the present. But how? We cannot. Either we are in the past or in the future. Because when the thought wave rises, it comes up and goes down. Another thought wave rises, goes up and comes down. Now, this thought wave which comes up, we go with it, but we don't see it's going down. Another thought wave that rises, we see that, but we don't see where it goes up. And so we are jumping on the cusp of these thoughts and we do not know. Perhaps we are in the past or perhaps in the future. But in the center of these two thoughts, there is the present. And we don't know how to take our attention there, which is a very difficult thing. And just to say that you should be in the center is not possible. All these things, you should do this, you should do that, is not going to work out. Unless and until there is light. For example, there is no light in this room. And you say, walk straight. You cannot walk because you can't see where is the passage, how to walk. Even if you order, do whatever you please, you cannot just walk straight without touching any of these chairs because there is no light, you can't see. So one has to understand that in the futuristic life when we live, when we plan too much for the future, actually what we are doing, we are living in an imaginary world. We have many stories of people who lived in imaginary worlds and how they found that everything was destroyed. And there are people who work it out through their physical efforts, and when they go into their physical efforts, they create another problem for them because they just become physically oriented. And if you are just physically oriented, the spirit gets angry. So the right side movement is for the people who are very meticulous, you see what you call the people who are very particular about the time, and who are very firm about things, who are very dry people, and who are very straight and they won't tolerate any nonsense, that sort of people, you see that you find normally, and that sort of people become a headache and they are very boring. You can't just bear their company, they can be very boring people. So it is not easy to choose which is better, which is not better. Both things are wrong to go to extremes on the right or to the left. Now let's see what happens physically. As I told about the cancer on the left hand side that we do. Physically, what happens to people who are futuristic? We have a center, especially for futuristic behavior, called as Swadhisthana Chakra, which is in the gross manifesting the plexus called the aortic plexus within us. Now this Swadhisthana Chakra is very important for human beings, especially for people who are developed people. With this chakra, actually, we convert the fat of the stomach for the use of the brain. Now, this is the center of the Surya, of the sun. Now, when we start thinking, these cells are converted in such a way that they become useful to the brain. Now, if you are thinking all the time you are thinking, then what will happen? I mean, the horns are not going to grow out of that. You are consuming all that. And when you are consuming all those cells, you have to have replacement. And for that replacement, this Swadhisthana chakra has to work very hard to convert the cells for the use of your brain. Now, when it is doing that, there are other things which this Swadhisthana chakra has to look after. For example, your liver, your pancreas, your spleen, your kidneys, all are to be looked after by this center, and also uterus for the ladies. Now, when there's only one work is given to this Swadhisthana chakra, and it cannot do any other work, then other things are neglected, so you develop a terrible disease called liver trouble. Now, liver trouble is another thing that you do not feel yourself. Others know that you are liverish, the way you are hot-tempered, the way you are fussy, the way you always snarl at people, and the way you are never satisfied with anything, the way you criticize others. All this is liverish, and such liverish people are never happy with themselves, because liver looks after their attention. And those who have liver problems, their attention is horrid. That goes like this. See, you cannot keep your attention straight. On the street, you will walk straight into a car because you are looking at something which you are not supposed to look at. But all the time you are looking at like this, you cannot walk. I mean, you won't find any animal like that who walks like this, but only human beings do it. If you see them on the street, you'll be amazed, where are they walking? They don't walk straight. They don't walk straight, but their eyes are going this way, that way, because the attention is wobbly. The attention is wobbly because of a bad liver. So this liver is a very, very important thing. Now, this liver has a special capacity to extract all the poisons from the body as heat. And the heat in the body is to be transformed or should be conveyed to the blood or the water in the blood. And that has to be taken out of your body, maybe as perspiration or in another forms. But what happens? That when this liver is out of gear, it cannot do it. It cannot pass this heat into the bloodstream, and the heat remains in the body, and you really become heated. And that heat makes all these problems for you. So, in Sahaja Yoga, what happens that when Kundalini rises, she changes the form of the blood. The hydrogen and oxygen, which are placed because of this heat and all that, in a very funny way, like this, like that, and they start receiving this heat within them. That's why those people who have bad livers feel little heat when the Kundalini rises. But one can cure it by giving it that peace and comfort to that liver organ, and you can definitely cure your liver, no doubt about it. Then the second thing that happens to you is the pancreas, which gives you diabetes. Only a person who thinks too much gets the diabetes. For example, an Indian farmer doesn't know what diabetes is, but then you stop your sugar. But that's not the way to stop your diabetes. Diabetes comes to you because you think too much. The doctors won't understand this. That's why they say it is incurable. But because they cannot connect thinking with the disease. And this is what happens when you are all the time thinking like mad, then diabetes takes place. And this diabetes is also curable if you get your enlightenment. You can cure also the diabetes of other people, but because this vital power, which is integrated of all these three powers, flows through you, and you can replenish, you can give more to other people who are exhausted of it, and sort of you can fill them up with this power, and you can get it. The third one is the worst of all that happens to people is blood cancer because of spleen. Spleen is one thing very important, that it is the center of peace within us. The one who doesn't have a proper spleen cannot be peaceful person. Now, it's a very simple thing, but doctors cannot connect it, nor all science-oriented people can connect it to something very, very simple. And the simple thing is that when we eat our food, if we are frantic, we are out to get trouble with the spleen, and we can get blood cancer. Now, if the mother is of that temperament or a father is of that temperament, the children might be born with blood cancer. Now, we will be happy to tell you that in New York, we had a case of blood cancer. And when I was in India, in a village, somebody came and told me that such and such boy is sick. He's only 16 years with blood cancer, and doctors have declared that he's going to die within 2 weeks' time. They always declare, they're good at declaration. And when this case came to me, I told them that I cannot do anything. I'm in a village, but you can telephone to one of the Sir Yoginis. She was in England, now she's in New York, and she will look after this case. You'll be amazed that the boy was cured completely. He came out of the hospital, came to see me, and now he's gone back to his studies. I mean, like this, we have cured many cases of blood cancer. But here we are not to cure people by any or healing anyone. That's not our job. It happens spontaneously as a byproduct of the Kundalini awakening. Main thing is we have to make you doctors. We have to make you knowledgeable people. We have to make you collectively conscious human beings who have to enter into the kingdom of God to reside there in His peace, bliss, and joy. Now, this trouble also of kidney, of high blood pressure, all that is due to this. People worry, they are frantic, you see, and this franticness comes to us just as a matter of habit. I have known people, as soon as you say, oh, you have to go by aeroplane or somewhere, suddenly the aeroplane word triggers that frantic, oh, they get mad. They don't know what they are up to. They will forget their passport, they will forget their luggage, they forget this, they're frantic. At the airport, if you go, you'll find this left navi, as we call it, this center is the spleen was frantic. Now, when you eat your food or do any such work, there is an emergency created and more blood is needed to digest that food. So this spleen, poor thing, works very hard to create that extra amount of blood cells. But at the time you are eating, you are also reading a newspaper. That's the worst thing one should do in the morning. Horrible. You read the newspaper, you are eating the food, the spleen goes off because another emergency comes up. Then you get onto your bicycle, eat a sandwich in the hand, is even worse than that. As you are rushing to your work, suddenly you find a big jam on the way, then you are even very badly placed with the situation and you get so frantic and you don't understand. And the person who is in front of you goes saying, oh, what's wrong with this fellow? Why can't he drive fast? And the same fellow is saying something exactly the same to the another fellow who is going ahead. So this mad race is on, this rat race is on, and if you are eating your food in such a hurry and in such franticness, you develop this trouble, which is very dangerous, called as blood cancer, and among young people is very common. Now, the last and not the least is the trouble of the heart. When you pay too much attention to all these outward things, to material things, to your all material advancement, to your physical advancement, and to so much of computerization of your brain, then you neglect the necessary attention to your spirit, which resides in your heart. And so the spirit receives. And when the spirit receives, you get a heart attack. Only a person who is right-sided gets a heart attack, and never a person who is a left-sided. I told this to a doctor, and he told surprisingly that in a mental hospital, we never need a cardiogram. We do not need it. They never get a heart attack. A madman never gets a heart attack. Surprisingly, a person who is mad is using his heart, his left side, his emotions, and his heart should go on. But no, his brain goes on. Can you imagine? And the one who uses the brain, his heart goes on. This is the balance created by nature in us. See how cleverly the nature is trying to guide us in the center. Don't go to the extremes. deep to the center, and then when you are absolutely in the center, then you get your evolution very quickly. So this is the right side that we have, the futuristic side, and as you know, we are all very futuristic by temperament. This futuristicness cannot be cured by telling, oh, now don't think. You cannot do it. You just cannot do it. If I order you that now you better stop planning, you just can't do it. You can't help it. You have to do that kind of plan. And you find all these plans fail because these plans are not related to the plans of the divine. Divine has some other plans, while you have some other plans. And they never combine together, and that's how you find all your plans fail, and you are just frustrated, left high and dry. You don't understand how it has happened. For your understanding, one has to know that there is a divine power. You may like it or not. All this living work that is done, millions and millions of flowers which are becoming fruits, a seed becoming a tree, a particular seed becomes a particular tree, all the choices that are made, the whole organized way, the chemical acts, the way the chemistry is made of periodic laws, everything you see in this world is all so well organized, there has to be somebody doing it. So there is a divine power which is surrounding us, no doubt about it. But we have not yet felt it. That's all. If you have not felt it, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It does exist. And it works out. We have seen with our own experience that so many living things are happening, we just take it for granted. We are not bothered. See, in human life itself, a child is to be born. Then a fetus is held in the body. Normally, the law of medical science is this, that anything foreign, if it enters into the body, is thrown out immediately. All the forces are built up to throw it out. But what we find, that when a fetus is built up, the whole system works out to nourish it, to look after it, to bother about it very carefully. The water is created around it so that it is not disturbed, and every sort of a care is taken by the body to look after the fetus, and when the fetus is ready, it is thrown out. Who does that? Who does that? We must ask these questions to ourselves sometimes. After all, why have we become human beings? What was the need? What was the need? And if we haven't got the answer, that means we are still in transition, and we have to get there where we get the answer. We are made human beings to feel that divine power, to maneuver that divine power, and thus enjoy the bliss of divinity. That divine power is the collective thing. That gives us collective. The spirit in our heart is the one which is the collective being within us, which manifests that divine power to flow through.
Now we can close our eyes again and sit up straight. And let's take the right hand and bring our Kundalini from the first chakra in front of us up to the top, just like that, just as if we're scooping up and bringing just in front of our body to the top. And bring your attention here to the top of the head. Again, we can feel these vibrations coming out of our head. Now let's bring our hand, the right hand, to the heart, to the left heart. It's where the physical heart is, slightly to the left. And here we'll say, I am the spirit. I'm not this body, this mind, thoughts, ambitions, or the emotions. And I'm also not all the roles I play in my life. I'm not this name I have. But I am the spirit, eternal, pure joy and awareness. I am the spirit. Now we'll take down to our lap both our hands. The rest, the palms are opened up, so we can pay attention to the vibrations, to the sensations we have on the palms. And we can ask Mother Kundalini, please bring me into a deep meditation. Let me feel your power. Remove my thoughts and strengthen my connection to the all-pervading power. Mother Kundalini, please let me experience deep meditation. And let's stay like this now for some 5 minutes, allowing our Kundalini to do her work. Keep your attention on your hands and on the top of the head. You can keep your eyes closed, but if there's any colors you see or any lights, just open them and you can look at the red dot on Shri Mataji's forehead. again, we can slowly open our eyes. If you wish to stay longer in meditation, you can also sign off. Otherwise, we'll together raise our Kundalini now and put ourselves into Bandhan to finish this meditation. So we again tie first one knot. So 2, second time, and then 3, the last time. And now we place ourselves into Bandhan 7 times, 1 for each chakra. And we can bring our hands together in the end in gratitude to our Kundalini for taking care of us. And also to Shri Mataji, we can express our thanks for teaching us all that, giving us all this knowledge of how to achieve this great state of meditation and connection to the all-pervading power. So this is it for today. If you have any questions, please unmute or anything you want to say.
I want to say thank you, Nika. Thank you so much. And Rahul and everyone. It's beautiful.
Yes, thank you, Nika, Rahul, and everyone.
Thanks for coming, guys. Thanks, Mati. Yeah. But yeah, if anyone wishes to ask something, we are here.
Hello, Nika. Nice to see you.
Vivek?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. That's a surprise.
Yeah, I'm host today. So
Okay.